We're rolling.
Okay, there we go. Now it's working. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nerdbuzzed.
Nerdbuzzed doesn't condone the consumption of alcohol by any persons under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Inevitably, it's Jack's fault. Oh, and now the image is up. Damn it, Jack! There we go. Welcome to Nerdbuzzed! The podcast where we talk about all the nerdy stuff that we care about and drink a cool frosty brew while we're doing it. I'm your host, Marcus Ellinger, and with me, as always,
Jeremiah Johnson.
All right, let's do this one more time. We have a lot of nerdy stuff to talk about today. But before we get into all that, Jake,
To the beer.
please.
Going back to Rogue. I think that's where we started the year off, wasn't it? Or was it last year that we started that off? Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
been a while
Since we've had a Rogue?
since the Rogue days. Yeah, I think it was last year that we started the Rogue. Started the year off with Rogue.
It might be.
Yeah.
It's been a little while for me, I think, since I've had a Rogue. The last Rogue I had was I went back to the
You went to the coffee
cold
one.
brew coffee. Yeah, that was the last one I've had.
Yep.
So it's been a while.
Yep. So we're doing the Pendleton Pale Ale, 5.2%. Based out of Pendleton, Oregon. The Pendleton Woolen Mills. I've got a picture of the Woolen Mill right there on the can, so it's kind of cool. We were talking about how we wanted to get out of the IPA rut for a while.
Yes.
So we're going just to a pale.
Which is not the easiest thing to do because they're in your face everywhere.
Well, that's the beer. That is the beer. If you want, you can have American piss water or IPAs.
Yeah.
It's what it is around here now. I'm sure other parts of the country there's probably better selection for different styles, but around here right now, it's all IPAs, and they've all gotten insanely huge. And if you don't want an IPA, well, here's a double chocolate stout or a Belgian Tripel.
Yeah.
Which, those are winter beers, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know, not middle of summer, so.
And
Anyway.
it's been super hot.
Yes,
around
it
here.
has.
Like, it is legitimately summer now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And I don't want a triple chocolate stout, or I don't want to have to, it tastes like syrup in the sun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And we are wearing matching hats, which makes us adorable. I wanted to make sure that people recognize that, watch the video, we match.
Well, we're drinking Rogue. We had to have the Rogue hats.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Not a sponsor, but they should be.
It'd be awesome if they were.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would drink Rogue all the time then.
exactly, right?
Wink, wink, Rogue. Was that? Yeah, okay.
Don't drink it
that
yet.
That was the front one. I'm not. I was going to smell it.
Uh-huh. I saw that mouth. Oh.
It was a wink. You got to, it's adorable. I was trying to run with the theme.
Wow, that is really, really flowery smelling. Floral smelling.
Something we were just talking about on our first recording, right?
No, but this is done through just the hops. There's nothing added to it, I'm sure, other than that. Which would be just the beer.
Yeah. So could this be a... do you think this could be a sign that this is leaning a little bit on that IPA side of the pale ale?
Oh, I don't think you're going to find a pale ale, at least in this area, that isn't... I don't think you're going to find a pale ale in this area now that wouldn't be considered an India pale ale 15 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
You know
so
what I'm saying?
we've upped our standards now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But somebody a while ago would have considered this that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can definitely get that aroma.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really flowery hop aroma, which means they probably dry hopped it, and
Yeah.
it's interesting. I'll have to look into what they've done for the hop profiles and stuff on this, but for now, I want to taste it.
Me too.
It's a little cloudy. Actually, it's quite cloudy.
It is.
Yeah, and it's decent head retention for how long since this is our second start over.
Yep. And it's still a little bit on there.
Yep.
Yeah. Should we, let's do it.
Okay.
To all the nerds.
Through all the fuzz.
Bottoms up.
Let's
get
get
Nerdbuzzed.
Nerdbuzzed. Jeez, where was that explosion, Jack?
Right? I told you. It's always his fault.
Okay. This has actually got a pretty heavy mouthfeel for being a pale ale.
I was going to say that
It's
too.
It's pretty heavy on the tongue. A lot of feel to it. It's a little sweet, but not overly sweet. You're getting a good roasted malt flavor to it.
I was going to say, what is that? It's almost like a... It's not
a toasty.
Yeah. I was thinking immediately when I drank it, I was like, it almost in a way like reminds me of like a porter kind of feel with that.
Not that.
Not that intense.
It's got the mouthfeel. It's got the heavier mouthfeel than porter has, but there's a toastiness to the grains, which I love.
Yeah.
And the hops are, wow, incredibly floral and flavorful. I mean, it's one of the rare beers that tastes exactly like it smells.
It's way more roasty than it is, like, bitter.
Yes.
For sure. Like, it's definitely got that roastiness flavor, which I was not expecting at all.
Well, there's no color to indicate that.
No. And I think that if somebody bought this and was like, I really like just pale, easy-to-drink beer, whatever, right? I think they might actually be a little disappointed with this. Because I'm really pleased with it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I think your average Joe who wants a nice light pale ale, this is not a light pale ale.
I think this right here is a testament to what we just said, though, about 10, 15 years ago, this would have been an IPA.
Oh, yeah. I could see
and
that
if
totally.
if you brewed this 10 years ago, you would have had to stick the IPA stamp on it.
Yeah. This, in a way, this kind of reminds me of the cold brew coffee one. Because it's got a little bit of that roastiness in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bitter like that one, for sure. That one has the bitter finish. But this one...
Well,
this one's really interesting.
That cold brew has the toasted hazelnuts in it.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting. I was not expecting it to be that much of a beer. It's more beer than I was expecting, which is awesome for us. But we're warning you, if you're really wanting a super light pale ale, this might not be the one to choose.
No. But it is very refreshing, and it is very well carbonated. I like that.
Yeah, no, I'm super pleased with it. Nice job, Jay. Kudos. Yes, let me add to that. Pat on the back. So we're going to keep drinking it, because it's probably just going to get better and better.
Always does.
That's right. And so...
Sometimes we wonder by the end, but...
Yeah.
At least by the end of the after parties.
Yes. We have a hard time distinguishing a lot of things at that point. So it's been a little while, but please, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe.
Please do.
Find us on Twitter. Banter with us about whatever you want that's nerdy. We would love to chat with you. You can even email us at nerdbuzzed. Facebook, all social medias. It's all Nerdbuzzed.
Even find us on PlayStation.
Yeah, find us on PlayStation. Just hang out, chat, make a comment. We'd love to hear from people and banter.
We might actually have to make a Nerdbuzzed PlayStation account.
I know, we'll lose everything. That's the problem. I'm waiting for them to allow us to change our name.
Yeah.
If they do, we'll have to, like, Rochambeau for it.
Yeah, I'll let you take it.
Okay, thanks, buddy. And so our nerd play. We're going to play Switch. Right? I'm still playing the hell out of my Switch.
Yeah, you're still switching it up.
And I was going to let you borrow my Switch.
But you couldn't
last
do it.
week? I didn't want to give it up.
I can't do it.
Well, to be fair, part of me was like, he's only going to have it for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
You're not going to get your full week, right?
And especially as busy as it's been the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. And you got, we're going to try to get some shows done so that we can keep having a show for every week. But you're going to have to go in and have your foot looked at again. Right, so you're going to be down for a little bit.
They're going to cut that open. I'm going to be bed rest for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, which means I'm going to have to come and hang out with you. I'll bring the Switch, and I'll bring some beer.
Okay.
After you, not first aid, because we already talked about that, you'll be in a painkiller
I would probably say first and second day would not be the best.
Yeah. Once you come back around, once you're a little more lucid and you have a chance to take a shower, I'll come and hang out with you. Anybody who's had surgery knows exactly what that means. But I'll come hang out. I'll bring the Switch. We'll like start Zelda over or whatever. We'll dive into it, and then I'll leave it with you for a few days.
Nice.
And
that'd be awesome.
Then we'll come back. We'll do a Switch show. We'll try to have Daniel on, a buddy of mine who has a Switch, and maybe Josh. I can talk Josh.
Josh would be awesome. Yeah.
So, which I'm gonna get to be on his show at the end of this month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he asked me to come on and be a guest. He wants to talk about crossplay and like the video game industry, and he says he has another guy on there that has a cast similar to ours, and I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna assume he's probably an Xbox guy, and Josh is the Nintendo guy.
And we're gonna have to.
So I kind of think I'm walking into the lion's den here, right? They're gonna give me. They're like, why won't you play with us?
We can play together.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not my fault.
Yeah. I don't represent.
I just gave them my money.
Yeah. I'm partially responsible, but there's a lot of them out there, so it's a real small percentage.
Says the group here who's between us bought four PS4s.
Yes, right. It's okay. So it's 2 times a small percentage. It's still small. So I just kind of have some general nerdy topics. You just kind of want to run through them and we can chat?
Absolutely.
Let's see. The first one, which I think is just kind of this hot button issue that's just going on right now. You got to be really careful what you say out there,
Yeah.
even if it's 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's the whole I'm offended movement.
Kind of, right? Yeah. And I want to be really clear that neither one of us are advocating any of the things that were said or saying that any of it was appropriate in any way. I'm not taking that side of it. I don't want to speak for you, but I'm assuming you're not either.
No.
But James Gunn, probably most notably the writer and director of the Guardians movies, has been canned by Disney.
Which really sucks.
Yeah. I looked at the tweets, right? Like there's screen captures out there. You guys can go find them. I'm not gonna.
I have not seen the tweets. I heard just from what you said what they were covering.
Yeah, it basically talks about things like rape and pedophilia in this humorous way, right? Like just making jokes about these things, which are not funny.
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing to do. I'm not advocating anybody doing that ever.
So I don't know his background alone, but did he come from a comedic background, like
I think yes,
like stand up or anything like that?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay,
but he definitely did do like some comedy movies, right?
Yeah,
because we looked at the movies, and before Guardians, he definitely was making comedic movies, which I think Guardians even falls into that category. It's a funny movie too, right? And one of the things I think that you have to be careful of, especially when it's tweets and things like that. And again, these are from 10 years ago. It's not like he said this yesterday. Not that they're okay, but you have to be so careful what you put out there on social media. And I think the other end of it is when you just grab something off the internet like that, whether it's Twitter or anything out there, you also have to be aware as the person that's now selling it as something that there might be context around it that we're missing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that people miss that a lot. Whenever you see something quoted, it's got like the ... quote ... It's like, what was before and after it?
Or any soundbite that you see on the news.
Yeah, totally.
It's like they change, they sample as needed to get the response that they need.
Yes.
Could be completely out of context.
Totally. I think that's something especially with the way that social media right now just bombards you with things. Like everything you see is like this action movie trailer where you just can't. It's like this Michael Bay social media, right? Just like blow explosions in your face all the time, and I feel like a lot of it is out of context. Like it's just there to overload your senses, right?
Yeah.
But there's this big petitions out there that people are starting to sign. I know that people from Guardians, actors, have stepped up, saying that they want him hired back. I think that for me, one of the things that's really sad about it is that I've always kind of said about DC, I wish that they would stick with that, like, kind of like the Burton, and then the, who was the next director who did the Batmans? I always forget his name.
Yeah.
With Christian Bale.
Yeah, I know.
That trilogy, right? Mm-hmm. I like how it's one director that does these movies, and because that's how comic books work, right? And Marvel has really started to adapt that mentality where, like, Guardians is always, it's James Gunn. That's who does Guardians, right? The Russo brothers were the guys for kind of like your Captain America for a little while.
Yeah.
Wheaton did Avengers, the first two Avengers. It's like you get these comic book feels where the story arcs are that artist. And it's cool. I really like that. It makes him very comic book. And so now to break that up out of it, especially after he's already written the first screenplay for it, I don't know, it's really too bad.
Oh, he already written the screenplay for 3?
Yeah, it's like the first draft is done, and he's working on the second draft, and then all this came out and happened. It was some conservative, I want to say has something to do with politics in some way, guy that dug it up.
Everything's, anyway.
Yeah, it's really just too bad. It's too bad if he genuinely, like, felt the way about the things that he said. I kind of doubt it. They seem like they were said in a joking way. Not that those topics should be taken lightly either, but it's too bad that that's going to happen with those movies. I don't know if they will be the same. He's got such a personal stamp on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I even think that's a good reason why, like, Infinity War and the other Avengers movies feel so totally different.
Oh, because
yeah, right. The other two are Wheaton, and then it's the Russos after that. They're just not the same progression and the same feel. So I don't know. It's kind of sad. But yeah, if you want to go check him out and go see what he said, go look at the petitions and all that. Maybe he'll come back. I'd be kind of shocked.
Yeah, with Disney and their reputation, as just as big as they are, I highly doubt it.
Yeah. So be careful what you say out there, because you never know when somebody might dig it up, right?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
also wondering, like, what is the age limit? Like, how young can you say stupid things on social media? Because there's, like, kids that have Twitter accounts and Facebook
yeah.
accounts, right? Like, what if that person grows up to be president and they find out when they were 10, they've said these things, like, now are you accountable still?
Well, I want to
Is
say
18 the limit,
I
right?
I want to say no, but it's going to be.
Right? Somebody could turn it into
All it
that.
takes is that one person to be that I'm offended, and blow the movement, make the I'm offended movement for this up, and then that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. So be careful.
Yeah, and as it clearly points right here, right now, it's on both sides of the table. So
Yeah. And there's definitely things where, like, when we play our GTA Tuesday and we have our party groups, like, I'm not putting the things I say out there to the world, but I guarantee there are things I've said there that would highly offend people. And in our little circle, it's all jokes and it's just
Yes,
banters.
it
And
is.
that's the point of GTA Tuesday, right? Is to be the point of GTA is to be offensive. So
Yes.
I really run with that sometimes in our groups. But, like, if things like that got out, you could be branded forever as that guy.
yeah,
That would be terrible. So be careful.
yes.
Anyway, let's move on to something a little more positive.
Alrighty.
We both watched the Nathan
Yes.
Drake film.
Yes. The Nathan Drake. Yes.
The Nathan Drake film. One of my favorite parts, by the way, is that it is Nathan Fillion playing Nathan Drake. I
yes.
love that. That's so cool.
Yes, and I think we actually commented that he'd make a great Drake.
Yeah, I think
Before.
we might have. Yes.
Yeah.
He just has that kind of mannerism that Drake has, and it is just the way he moves and he acts, right? The way he delivers his jokes and just the kind of the charisma that he has that like defines him is that like Nathan Drake charisma, right? It
Totally.
was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It's like a 14-minute short film. You can watch it on YouTube.
It was shot like the game.
Totally. Yes. That
Like,
was one of my favorite parts of it.
It had the camera pans and stuff. Like, this is cutscene, now this is gameplay. This is it totally had that.
It's the
I would like to have seen it with a better budget.
yeah, maybe, I guess.
Really would, and I would like to see Elaine cast a little bit.
Yeah, you think so?
Well, the Elaine, she was so dry, and she was like one of my favorite characters from the game.
Yeah. And she just didn't quite do it for you.
Well, no, I mean, she was such a... I don't know how to put it in the game. She was super emotional with what she did and conveyed it across. There was no... You knew where she stood and everything, and this other one was just, I don't know, just kind of dry, kind of bland.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, this is...
I didn't really care for Sully either when I first saw him.
When I
was
fir-
like, but then he totally... You just started to grow on it. It
Yeah.
grow on you, right? And maybe she would have done that if it would have been a little longer, and you would have
Yeah.
got more of her, because you only get her right at the end of
Yeah.
the little short film, right? Easily, hands down, my favorite moment in the whole thing is when he jumps out the window in the short film, lands on the ground, like dusts himself off, and picks up the gun, and then the camera does that like pan back while he just stands there still for a minute.
Yeah.
That's like exactly in the game when you would take over and play.
Exactly.
It was
And
totally
I can't
that
tell you
same
how, I
part.
can't tell you how many times in that game I'm like, okay, so what he's gonna do? Oh shit, my turn to play.
Yeah. that was so good. I loved it. And even the like fighting, the way he fought, like the big
Yeah.
jump punch was
Yeah,
so
that was
Nathan
my
Drake.
favorite part. So the Jeep comes in, and the other guy turns, and as soon as the other guy turns, he runs up and jumps over the pallet there and just does the.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And I would say, like, as far as maybe first off, what I should say is video game movies typically suck, right?
Yes.
This has the highest potential for like a video game made live action that I think I've probably ever seen.
And so, I agree with you on this. I was so hyped for that, and then I saw an interview with Nathan Fillion, the guy that directed it, and I can't remember what it was on. It was some teenage talk show thing.
Yeah.
But
Not our show. He
No.
should be on our show.
it'd be awesome. That would be like beyond Kevin Smith level.
Oh, now he has competition.
But well, you know how much I love Firefly, so.
That's true. Yes.
But I would not talk to him about Firefly. I'd let him bring it up.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be the question he gets every time is Firefly. When's Firefly going back? Like, I'm going to know.
I don't even want it to come back. I say that all the time to people. You don't want it to come back. It won't be as good.
So, okay, I'm going to stick to my guns with what I've said in the past about if Firefly came back, is the characters, a couple of them or one of them I know is dead now, Book. But, some of them are obviously not going to be able to do the show anymore anyway. But, so you have the remaining characters. It's been long enough now that they've aged enough and everything. Totally just get another crew. Cast another crew. They find the ship in dilapidated condition, or maybe not in dilapidated condition. They buy it off of them or something. Take it over. It's a new crew doing their thing. And then just have the other crew just pop up from time to time.
Very Force Awakens.
Yes.
That's kind of what you're describing.
Yes, but it's let's just have the other crew just popping up from time to time throughout the series.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like they have to stop on some random planet or station to like get something or deal like
or
a
it's
go-between.
broken down and Kaylee steps out and says, what'd you do with my baby type thing? And
Yeah. Even they get there and it's like, who do we get to fix it? Nobody can fix it. Well, there's one person that can, and then when they discover him, it's her, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Those kinds of twists and little turns. Yes,
that would be freaking awesome.
You were saying you saw an interview with them, though.
So, yeah, I saw an interview with them, and they were talking about it. So they're like, yeah, we shot it like this, and this works for a 14-minute short.
Yeah.
But they're like, if we ever made and it was like the most disheartening thing I ever heard them say about this, like if we made this a full-length live-action movie, we wouldn't shoot it this way.
Really?
Yes.
I'm still gonna be optimistic and hope that they don't mean like a video game. Like maybe they just mean we'll use like bigger budget cameras or like right?
Yeah.
Maybe like something else, but like not actually change the technique.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's so the video game.
I know, and that's what I loved about it. And they said it works for this audience.
Yeah. I don't know. You think Netflix or somebody might pick it up?
Oh,
Is there any potential for that?
So Netflix has been tanking with their stuff lately, so
They could use a pick-me-up?
yeah.
Yeah. Does Sony do stuff with Netflix?
I don't know.
Would it be Sony? I'm assuming Sony. It's the exclusive for them, and they help produce it, right?
Did they help produce this one?
I think doesn't it have the Sony Entertainment on it?
I'm gonna have to go watch it again now.
The short movie?
Yeah.
No, the games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it's a Sony Entertainment. Like they help publish it basically, and produce it, right? It's a Naughty Dog game,
Yes.
but they're backing it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Which
they
is
would.
why
I'm
it's the
assuming
exclusive.
they own 100,000,000% of the rights, and they would have to be in charge of part of it also.
Yeah.
So I don't know who they have connections with, but I don't know. I would be awesome to see, and they have to keep the cast.
You think so?
Yeah, I want.
Well,
I want.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
for sure. Yeah,
But I'm saying the other ones. I mean, they're such a short period of time. You could.
I don't know. I want this to be like a trailer, and then I just want it to keep going. And
I
I want
definitely-
Sony to come in and be like, okay, you can make it, but you have to make it like that. Like,
Oh.
don't change it.
Yeah. Bigger budget, obviously.
Yeah.
Bigger budget, better cameras, a little bit more CG time to make some of the cuts a little better.
Yeah. Although I liked how I don't want to say like amateur, but it had a little bit of that feel to it.
Well, you
Low budget, I guess is the
Yeah, but
appropriate word.
you can see just in the way that they were shooting it and all this stuff. There's a few things they could have done to smooth out Nathan's fighting style because he doesn't do the hand-to-hand combat that well.
No. But I like that he looks old. Right?
Well,
Nathan
yeah.
Fillion has this feel that he's just kind of old. And I always felt like Drake in the game was a little Danny Glover in the fact that he's kind of like, I'm too old for this, right? He kind of has that mentality. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really, really good. Go check it out. Watch it on YouTube.
Yes.
It's totally worth it. We had a couple other trailers
Yes.
that we watched for DC. And
Yep.
the first one was the Titans show, which is exclusive on their streaming network. You have to pay for that.
Is it? I didn't notice that,
Yeah.
but
It's not going to be. It's not part of the Arrowverse. It's not a CW show.
Okay.
If you watch the trailer, that's very obvious. It's a very brutal, jaded Titans. Like they're full of angst and like kind of pissed off at the world. It's kind of how they all appear
Yeah.
in it.
and it's a lot more. I don't know. I don't want to say slapsticky, but there's not a lot of thought behind the humor.
Yeah.
Which is something that, if you watch the older cartoons, they weren't bumbling idiots. There's a lot more thought behind what... It was definitely comedic based, but there was a lot more thought behind it.
Yeah, well, and even that was more for definitely for a younger audience.
Yeah.
Right, like the cartoon. And which I could see that type of humor that they're trying to do in this, like, harder edge live action one. It's just a different feel. It's even a totally different audience, right? I guess maybe it's the people that watch the animated one that we've grown up now a little bit, and we're going to watch this more mature version of it.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. There's even that scene in there when, like, Robin jumps down on the cars, and the criminals looks up, and there's like, where's Batman? And he looks at him, and he just says, F Batman, right? And then just kicks their ass. Like, punches them, and blood squirts out their face, and, like, it's pretty brutal.
That was...
I would like to watch an episode. I wonder if you can go onto their server, get it, like, free for 30 days.
Oh, maybe.
I'm assuming. Everybody does that,
That's
right?
better with HBO.
Yeah, right, totally. Just wait, get it for free for 30 days after the show comes out, and just binge them all, right?
Well, I usually wait for, like, till the last 2 shows have to come out.
Yeah.
2 episodes, and then get it, and then binge through it, watch the last 2, and then it's done.
And then cancel. Yeah. And then they'll offer you a free 30 days by next season again.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Let's do it. Maybe we'll have 3 accounts if we need it. We can watch it on yours, mine, and we'll make a Nerdbuzzed one. Right? Yeah. The other trailer that we got, which I think is way lighter toned.
Yes.
Way lighter than the Titans.
And I like the humor in it, at least in the trailer, better.
Yes.
So much better.
For Shazam.
Yes.
And when I first heard that they were going to make the Shazam movie, I was a little bit concerned because I just didn't know how that would translate into the movie and if it'd be right for DC. But after watching the trailer, I get the impression this is so what DC needed.
Yes. They needed to lighten it up.
Yeah.
And, not to quote you, but slow their roll.
Yes. Nice. That's a Marcusism. Yeah. They do need to slow their roll, for sure. And they need to kind of get over themselves a little bit, right? And just have fun. I think it's going to be such a great break in everything that's going on with DC and just their dark, ominous tone they always have. Everything's so depressing in all their movies. And they're just going to be able to lighten it up, have lots of fun. I did notice, though, in the trailer, there aren't any, like, direct ties to the other DC movies.
No, they didn't show anything in the trailers.
Yeah, I didn't really notice anything that showed a sign that, like, even when Billy talks to his buddy about, like, he's like, oh, you know, do you have this power? Do you have that power? And they're talking about superheroes always have them. They just always keep using the word superhero. They're never like, well, Superman can fly, you know, and, like, try flying. Or, like, this guy's tough. Try doing that. There's no direct relation. I'm assuming it's got to all be in the same world or universe. I don't know. So. That was my biggest curiosity. What?
Oh, okay.
What? I just got to shift.
You were shifting. You were looking and shifting. Like, I don't know.
No. But I totally recommend people check it out.
Yeah, and don't. That aside, that is a legitimate worry here.
Yes, always.
But no, yeah, definitely check the trailer out. I'm gonna watch the movie.
I'm super excited for it.
Yeah.
He when he is Shazam, he totally looks like one of those people that's in, like, a muscle suit for sure. Like, it looks all phony, but that's fine. Like, it's totally fine. Shazam has always been the hero that was in the adult body but was still a kid.
Yes. Right?
And that comes across in this trailer so much. It's like the Nathan Drake one almost, where it's just like, that is so much what it should be. I already love it.
Like, so what, do you have super strength? I don't know.
Yeah. And he does the, what do the kids call that? Flossing? I learned that at my nephew's birthday party.
I have no idea what that is.
I didn't know what it was either, right? Everybody's gonna be like, you guys are so old now.
Yeah, well, we are.
It's true. When I had assumed flossing was like this dance maybe you did like this, right? No, that's not flossing. Apparently it's like when both your hands on each side and you do that, like, little hip shake thing. Never seen it? I've seen people do it.
Yeah,
I never knew what it was called.
I get what you're saying now. I know what you mean.
But you didn't know what it was called? No. Yeah, I had no idea either, right? That was my nephew's birthday. All of them were doing that. And I was like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, it's flossing, whatever. And they all got in their little line and did it together, right? They've seen this YouTube video or something. I was like,
Okay.
what? And that's when I tried to get them all to do the Marcus flossing.
Yeah.
And they didn't like it.
Speaking of
They
YouTube,
wanted
like,
to do it.
subscribe.
Yes, do it. Which you have to, if you're not and you're listening to the audio version, it's totally worth it to go on YouTube and see our adorable outfits matching and Marcus flossing. Let's see. What else do we have? In January, we'll segue into some anime.
Yeah.
Real smooth segue there. DBS Broly trailer.
Yes.
Dragon Ball
Broly's
Super.
canon.
Could be.
Could be. Yeah. I mean,
I think-
this has got Toriyama writing it,
Yep.
so and directing it, I think, isn't he? Or just
I
writing.
think he is. Yes, I believe he is. He's very heavily involved.
So yeah, if he's doing that, I'm pretty sure this is canon then.
That's what makes it. Yeah, we kind of debated on this earlier.
Yeah.
He can just, if he says it is, I guess. Is that
Well,
what
yeah,
it is?
but I think that's the same as George Lucas and what Star Wars used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to put his stamp on it, and then
Yeah.
that makes it canon.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm curious about it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not the hugest Broly fan.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
okay.
the movies are fine, but
I
Dragon
like-
Ball movies are never super great anyway.
No, they're not. I'm sorry, Bardock was amazing, but
I like Bardock. I like Future Trunks. The
the
whatever the Trunks movie is, right?
oh yeah.
That one I think is also really good. So Bardock's got to be canon, right?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
not?
I don't think. I don't know. Somebody who's up on this might be able to tell us, but I don't think he's been mentioned in the series at all.
Yeah, maybe not, huh?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's got to be somewhat tied to the series.
Yeah, and the fact that it's the Dragon Ball Super, and then
You want to know my biggest concern with this Broly movie?
hmm,
How did Super get introduced? You remember?
yeah, with the freaking Super Saiyan God.
And with the movies.
Yeah, with the two movies.
And then you go to watch the series, it's basically the movies stretched out.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So Super's over now. They've made the last episode.
Yeah, but the movies. Okay, but the movies were only the first part.
Yes.
We didn't have the Goku Black, and we didn't have
No.
the tournament.
No, but it's like what? It's several episodes. 30 episodes? 40 maybe?
Oh, close to, yeah.
Something like that. Like each movie is like 20 episodes, right?
Mhm.
For the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. I remember watching it, waiting to watch this Dragon Ball Super. And when it came out, I was like, these are the movies. I've already seen these.
And they're more garbage than the movies.
Yeah, and they weren't as good. So I'm wondering now.
Well, at least the second movie. The second movie was decent. The first movie was...
I did actually like the second one. Yeah. Because it has Vegeta being a badass, which is always my favorite thing.
So then you really should have liked Super then overall. Because, I mean, it really... The way they ended, Vegeta was more powerful than Goku.
Yes. Super has some moments that I think are really cool, and it's really cool to see those moments happen. And it has some really awesome animated episodes where they just look cool.
And
right?
most of that was in the tournament itself.
Yes.
In
And
fact, most of the tournament itself was animated really well.
and there's some of those are total Vegeta moments.
Yes.
They really focus on that, and I totally agree. Those were awesome.
Yeah.
I think overall, Super's kind of eh. There was a lot of
There was one-
guilty pleasures.
There
in
was
Super.
one episode though of the Saiyan fight, the first Saiyan fight with Goku.
Somebody's group messaging us. That was
Yeah.
both of us.
It was.
Maybe it isn't, and that's just this crazy coincidence.
Justin's heading into Los Santos.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's good to know. He's always really good at his timing on that.
Always so great.
We'll go join him and offend people if they would have heard us.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
so I'm curious if after this Broly movie, if Super will come back with another season, and it's going to be stretched out Broly movie. That's like my biggest
Well,
fear.
they totally set it up. I mean, it's gonna be the Frieza thing again. You know Frieza's gonna be the big bad again, and he said he was going to be.
Yes.
He's
And
like-
he's clearly in the trailer.
Yep.
And from the sound of the trailer, because you don't actually see what's going on when he says it, but he comments on Broly, and he sounds excited
Mm-hmm.
to see somebody that's like, this guy could be Goku, right? Like maybe I can team with him or whatever. But he's got
Yeah.
that scheming, Frieza mentality in there.
It's
about it.
Frieza.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's why I love Frieza.
Whoa. Hello.
Yeah, open that one.
Here.
I don't know. That'd be cool, though. I'm going to go check it out.
Oh, man.
We'll probably have to go have a man nerd date and go watch it together. That will also be adorable. That's the theme of this episode. How adorable can we be?
Oh, my God.
The other anime news we got was My Hero Academia 2 Heroes is going to be the first My Hero movie, and that is going to be out in North America in September.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's...
Speaking of My
pretty
Hero,
close.
how about All Might?
Yeah? Are you all caught up?
Oh, of course I am.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too. But I was just like, how about freaking All Might?
I know, I don't want to spoil it
Yeah.
for people out there. But yeah, I'm actually really okay with it. I think it's fine. I think that the characters that are in there now, we're going to hit that next level of them having to mature as heroes.
Yes.
Right? They're going to have to step up and just do that now, which is, I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited.
How Dragon Ball is this?
Yeah.
I mean, they're really following the Dragon Ball path?
How many of, like, every anime you've ever seen is My Hero, though?
Oh, I know this, but, like, this is the path that Dragon... How many other animes have followed from a kid all the way through? Getting his powers, learning, and then evolving, and then becoming, is better, like this is. I mean, yeah, a lot of them that it's, what was it, the Ichigo one,
I don't know what happens in it.
the Bankai, the sword, I can't, why am I...
Oh, the sword?
Yeah, the sword and the masks, and anyway, doesn't matter, anyway, it's, that's
Sword
one,
Guy? Is it Sword Guy?
which, did you see? Sword Guy Season 2 is coming out.
Ooh.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
Just in case you're able to wash all the turd off you,
we
you can douse yourself in some more.
Because I watched the whole series, Netflix felt they needed to email me and tell me, just so you know, Season 2's out now.
Awesome.
I'm like, huh, thanks.
Unsubscribe.
Exactly. God, what? Bleach!
Oh, okay. I've barely ever seen any Bleach.
So, Bleach had some awful arcs. If you follow the comic, it's way better than the show.
Yeah.
Because they just made some weird filler stuff that was garbage and a half. And then it just fell apart at the end. Like, I don't know if he knew how to keep it going. It's like, I don't have any more story.
Huh.
That's the only thing I can feel. But anyway, the way he does it, it's like your standard, oh, I got powers, now I have to become way overpowered. And that's just like so many animes just followed that path. And I mean, when you watch Dragon Ball, Goku loses and lost a lot when he first started.
Yeah.
And
died how many times?
Yeah, he's 3 times now he's died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's followed this evolution, and you're now watching his kids evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I can totally see with the way they're doing with this, it's the old mentor taking him in, and you actually watch this, basically the birth of this character.
Yeah. And
the way he evolves from it, and they all talk about how overpowered he is, but he's not been overpowered at all yet.
No.
And what's saved him more than anything until the last couple episodes has been his smarts.
Yeah, I was actually wondering, would you be at all surprised to find out that maybe Deku has a superpower, and his superpower is that he's like a really awesome tactician? Like, he observes the heroes and remembers, and he can plan, because he's always on that. He's the first one to figure out what it is, and like, I keep wondering if like it'll come up that actually was like his superpower. He's just one of the best at that. Yeah, and that will progress with the show also.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that would be kind of a cool thing to add in there, right? I like that by the end, it pretty quickly distinguishes that he's not going to be just a carbon copy of All Might, though.
Yes.
I like that. That was really cool. And in the very first episode, it does start with him saying, basically, this is the story of how I became the world's greatest hero.
Yes.
So that's also kind of cool too. Like, you knew that it was going to turn out
exactly
this way, right? Yeah. But it has, I can't think of an anime that I've been watching, maybe other than Dragon Ball, right? Maybe even like Yu Yu Hakusho when I first started watching it was that way. But where I would watch it every week, and I wasn't getting burnt out, and I was just like the whole week I'm sitting there clamoring for the next episode.
So I tried watching Super, the weekly pass.
Yeah.
And I gave it up for a while, and then you kept with it. You kept with the weekly running.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I'm on here, and this has happened now. And so I picked it back up again, and I tried watching the weekly just from where you were at. I couldn't do it. And now that it was been completely run through and everything, I'm glad I waited, and then just sat down and watched it straight through.
Yeah.
Because there was a few episodes where I just binged them, and I didn't care what was going on in them. But I let them go. Just let them play through, and I just did something else.
Are you watching it in English?
Japanese.
Okay.
I wished I could have gotten in English, but I don't remember where to find that.
I know you can on Funimation, and you can do the like Crunchyroll, like where it's like the $15 a month instead of or whatever. It's like $5 more, and you get like all the VRV and like all these other subscriptions.
I didn't do that one.
Yeah, and I think one of those has it too.
Okay.
I did the same thing. I watched it in Japanese on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, so I did the whole Crunchyroll Japanese thing. That said, I don't like Goku's voice in Japanese.
You don't like the old lady
as an adult Goku.
Yeah.
Because and I know I've said this before, and I'm going back and regurgitating things that we've said in the past, and I'm going to do it again. There was such a progression and such a level of change between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. You know, and
you mean in his voice?
No, and just in character growth, in direction the show went, in everything. And the only way I was able to ever to find Dragon Ball was in Japanese, in subtitles. So I watched it all through that, and then made the transition into him being older and the new direction the show was going. In Z is when I started watching it in English on Toonami, and so it was kind of a symbolic change, a progression itself. Is watching this, and I like the voice acting in English for Vegeta and Goku specifically so much better than their Japanese.
Piccolo's good too.
Piccolo's great.
And I actually love Frieza. I think Frieza is so good.
Yeah.
He's so... It just, every time you hear Frieza's voice, I imagine him like this.
Yes.
It's like, hey, right?
Yes.
Scheming. He's always scheming.
The Japanese voice for Frieza is the same, though. I get that same reaction from the Japanese.
Yeah. I guess, to be fair, Vegeta can be that way, too, for me, the Japanese one. Yeah. He comes across as just that.
The arrogant.
Yeah. It totally sells that pretty well. But yeah, I like Goku, okay? He's great. He has never been my favorite from Dragon Ball. Anything. Yeah. Nothing in Dragon Ball has he ever really been my favorite. He's like the driving force that moves the story, and I like him for that. But for me, Dragon Ball is so much about the supporting cast. I love it. In
Dragon Ball, as Dragon Ball, is when I following Goku, and that was what it was following Goku.
Yeah.
Completely. I mean, it didn't have much other character early on anyway. And, I kind of just, that's where I've gotten my love for Goku is that.
Yeah.
You know, so I've kind of stuck with that. I'd say favorite character overall, though, probably is Gohan or Piccolo.
Yeah. Like Great Saiyaman Gohan? That's your favorite?
Dude, I love the Great Saiyaman Gohan.
That's who you want to be when you grow up? Because that'd be adorable. Because that's the theme of the episode.
Dude, if I could get that suit in a watch,
yeah,
I would wear it. But it has to have that.
Yeah.
You know, if I can't do that, screw it. No way.
Great Saiyaman. Oh my God. Go to hell. Okay.
Don't tell me you wouldn't wear it if it had that cool watch with it.
Can I put a different... Does the watch just store outfits? That's all it does.
Well, it's from Capsule Corp. Of course it just stores whatever.
So I can put a different outfit in it.
No.
I'm stuck as Great Saiyaman.
This is the Great Saiyaman. Yeah. But if it had that cool watch feature...
Yeah.
You would.
You know you'd hit the button, right? And it'd go on you. And nobody that knows Dragon Ball would be like, what? The watch? I mean, how'd you do that? But what is this you're wearing? And everybody else would be like...
I don't know what you're talking about. I am...
Yeah.
The great Saiyaman.
So bad. Anybody else that's a fan of Dragon Ball would be like, oh, bummer.
Oh, wait. Great Saiyaman.
Yes, that one's my favorite. Yeah. Oh my god. I guess let's segue into our anime we watched.
Oh, yes. Sword Guy.
Samurai. Yeah, right. Season 2.
Yeah.
We binged it because it was that good. Watched it in 2
one
days.
day.
Yeah. We just got the email. We just watched it. We watched Samurai Champloo.
Yes, again.
Which is a anime that came out in 2004.
Yep.
And when I watched this, I really thought so many things about it remind me of Cowboy Bebop and even Space Dandy.
The flow is a Cowboy Bebop flow. Every episode just has this introduction. Here's our story, and then here's our outro.
Yeah,
what's going on? Just like Cowboy Bebop always works.
Yeah, it helps that Mugen's voice is
Yes.
the same guy, right?
Yes, it
that
does.
totally helps with that feel. But I also kept watching it and thinking, it has a little bit of that kind of Space Dandy feel to it when I was watching it. Did you ever think that? I really enjoyed it. The more I think about Space Dandy, I really enjoyed it.
I think it had some of the Space Dandy feel in the... So this is this. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This little things like that.
Yeah. Well, surprise to me, because I had to look into what else could be linked with Samurai Champloo. The director, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that first name. Should I try? Shinichiro? Is that right? Shinichiro?
That looks correct.
Watanabe?
Yep.
Okay.
Got the last name right.
But he's actually the director of Bebop, Space Dandy, and most recently, the Blade Runner 20...
The Blackout one, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought that was hilarious. I was like, that explains it. That's
right there,
totally why these have that feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have the same sort of priorities, I guess, in the show, which I think is what a director is there for, right? To highlight these points. And the highlighted things in Champloo, Bebop, and Dandy, there's some similarities.
The animation is much closer to the Dandy style of animation, though.
Yes, I would say that too.
But character movement is the fluidity of character movement and all that is much more Bebop.
Yeah.
In the action scenes, I don't know. It's drawn incredibly well. It's very stylized.
Yes.
The music. So there's so many times you're watching this and you're like, don't even realize there's music going on. And I think that right there is a testament to how well the mood is set with it.
Yeah.
It's there and you're invested in this, what's going on, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, there's music playing to this that has that feel.
Yeah.
And it's like weird. And they've always set this whole rapper theme and this just 2001 on edgeness to it. But there's so many parts where it's like they bring it to where it needs to be for that. And it doesn't even have anything to do kind of like that.
Yes.
And it's done, I don't know, really well.
I think
some of those episodes, just there's such a stark contrast. Like, all of a sudden, dude, we are serious. This is a heartfelt, meaningful thing that's happening. And it's like, dude, where the hell did this come from? That's not this show.
Yeah. Well, and I think maybe for me, that's what made it more Space Dandy, is those harsh tone changes that would happen in the show like that, where suddenly it was serious, and then now it's goofy and campy again, and then it's serious again. And music totally would change those moods. But even like the baseball episode, right?
Yeah.
There's totally a Space Dandy episode that's very similar to that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one with the minor guys or whatever that are dead that have come back to life. That one even kind of reminded me of Space Dandy too.
Yes.
Like there were
Yes.
key, not that the whole show reminded me of it, but there were definite episodes that were very like Cowboy Bebop. Okay, now this episode to me really kind of struck me as Space Dandy. And I just kept getting that feel through the whole thing. It's a super, super good show. Totally remains way at the top of my list for animes. The animation is phenomenal in it. I think that the characters, I didn't watch any of it in Japanese, so I have no idea what the voices are like in that. But the English acting is
both
so
times
good.
both times I've ever seen it has always been Japanese.
Oh, so you haven't watched it in English?
A couple episodes, but yeah, mostly in.
Oh, that's
Japanese,
funny.
yeah.
I've never watched it in Japanese, and maybe it's Mugen's voice. I really like that it's that guy, and he just is. It basically is that character almost, right? Like very similar.
Jin is so much better in Japanese.
Huh? I'll have to watch it.
I don't know.
Now I'm curious.
So you know how subdued and how quiet and Jin always is, and then how just seemingly sometimes he's I don't want to say innocent, but he's just got this weird childish innocence to him. And
I mean, really, I think to be fair, all the characters kind of do. They have those moments, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but Jin especially, just for how quiet he is.
Yeah.
And watching what couple episodes I did in English versus Japanese, the Japanese voice actor nails that tone so much better.
I'm gonna have to check it out now.
Yeah.
Typically, I will try both when I watch an anime, just because I want to know. And I think when you watch an anime in Japanese, you get more of a authentic feel, right? It just changes when they put it in English.
Yeah.
I'm assuming in Japanese the music's probably all the same though.
Yes, the music's all the same, even the stuff in English.
Huh?
Yeah,
That's cool. I'm really curious, and I would totally watch it again. It's a great show. In a little bit, the way that Cowboy Bebop does, you can kind of jump around probably. Like I don't know that you totally have to watch them all in order.
Yeah, it's a more episodic story. It's not a linear it's a linear path they're following, obviously, but yeah, no, there's a couple part ones and part twos though that you do need to see.
Yes, totally. Well, and like Bebop has a couple of that too.
Yep.
I think the fighting in it, like, do you still call that choreography?
Oh yeah.
Is so good. It's done so well, and it does have that like where they'll like focus on the person's body, and then like the foot will come swing out and get real close to the camera, and their body will like whip around with it. It almost feels like a whip almost or something, right? It's got this like,
which was something they did in Bebop quite a bit.
Yeah, totally that same kind of fight style. And even in Dandy, they had those moments when he would do that, where the perspectives would get weird, but then whip back to right in your face. And I love that about it.
That one episode in Dandy that sticks out for me is that surfing episode.
Yes.
Like that, where they just totally just whoa, and just round them. Yeah, it was.
yeah. Or even like, I think another way that it reminds me of Dandy is like the food eating contest episode. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like that totally has that Dandy, where they're just
have you seen that
always
fat
looking
girl?
for food. Yeah, right? Like, I think that all three of those series are definitely on my like Dandy might be below Bebop and Champloo, but I still really enjoyed Dandy after watching it, and it still sits on my top half of animes, right? Like it doesn't go on the bottom.
No,
I don't think it
goes on the bottom, but I don't think it's anywhere near my top.
Yeah, you didn't care for it as much.
No, it's not anywhere near my top, but it's definitely not on the bottom.
No, I liked all three of those a lot. I love the characters in Champloo. I kept waiting in Champloo. I remember this the first time. I kept waiting for the fourth character. Right? And that never really happens in it. You get people that are for that episode.
Yeah.
That are like their companion they come across. But for the most part, it's Mugen, what's his name? You just said it.
Oh,
Fu,
Jin.
And then Jin, right? And that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and her little rat.
Yeah, her little rat squirrel thing, whatever it is. Yeah. It's
Which
super,
is totally
super
underutilized.
good. Is what?
Which is totally underutilized. You like 5 episodes, don't even see it, and then like one episode, it's saving their bacon. It's like, what?
Yeah. Totally.
But no, it's really good. I loved it. Boy, it's definitely way up there for me.
Yes, totally. It's on my list of ones.
I think they're in the must-sees.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I would own it. I would totally own
clearly,
it.
yeah.
I'm waiting for the like killer My Hero set because they're already on like season 3.
Yeah, they're season 3 now. Yeah.
So they're like $50 for each season. And I just can't bite the bullet on it yet. But as soon as I think I already own Champloo. And I don't own Space Standy, but I'd be fine with it. The other one that when I was thinking of what it kind of reminded me of, and I think we said this when we had the anime on, that it reminded us of Bebop, was the Dimension W.
Yes.
And I was kind of hoping, as soon as I started seeing these other ones he directed, I was like, oh, and I looked through his whole archived list of things he'd done. That wasn't in there. But I thought I could see that fitting in,
yes.
Right? It has that same kind of feel. It would definitely be the newest of them all.
And it was, Dimension W was definitely took cues from him.
Yes, for sure.
So.
Yeah, this one is, and again, it does such a good job of what Bebop did, where it rides that line of adding computer stuff, but still being drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Right? does it so tastefully, which I think is honoring to what anime started out as, right? Like, it doesn't abandon that,
Yeah.
which is really cool. I like that a lot. It's art. It's like real, like genuine
Yes.
hand-drawn art, and it has like special effects and computer stuff in it. But for the most part, people are drawing this show, which is super, super cool. There's just more life to it, I think, when that happens.
Well, yeah, it takes on an organic feel. It takes on an organic
totally.
personality. So it's not a wireframe constructed character that they're just posing.
Yeah, for sure. It's like when this person draws it, they move their wrist this way, so that character's going to have that thickness of line or the thinner part here, and just the way their bodies move, and it's really cool. It comes across as more organic. It's something that I think anime, and it's been doing it for years now, but it's something that is just more and more being lost in anime.
Yes.
It's kind of too bad. I like that about it. It just makes it feel more alive.
Well, yeah, you had the variations in frames, even where just this weird stutter of a line, and it came through, or the hair always has some weird movement to it, and it's not the computer done where it's just moving with the power waves and all that kind of stuff. It's it's just the hair has just a weird move, and I don't know, it's yeah,
It's good.
Grimalda flap. Anyway,
I think if you're an anime fan, I'm gonna say you probably already have seen Champloo because it's that good and it should be on your radar. But if you haven't and you like the way music is implemented, super stylized fighting, that's not necessarily just a bunch of filler stuff. Like there's purpose to it, which is also really cool. Really cool swordplay.
Yep.
People die left and right. Like there's not.
So there's people. So they got the kill. That's one of the things that I have one of my gripes in the show. So there's this one episode where he's going after this guy that's known as the Killer, who's taken out the heads of all these dojos and stuff.
Yeah.
And you only see him kill 2 people.
The Killer guy?
Yeah.
Is that the assassin that's going after Jean?
Jin? No.
Jin. Is Jin in Japanese? Jean in English.
Is it Jin? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, no, it was the guy that was done in the Chinese fighting style and had the Chinese sword. Him and Mugen duke it out in the water. Under the bridge.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, they show him, he only kills, like, 2 people and all of a sudden has this huge bounty because they found a dead body, right?
Yeah.
And, meanwhile, Jin and Mugen have this path of death that's everywhere that they've been.
Yeah.
And they don't have huge bounties.
Well, I think that...
in every town, they don't...
Yeah. Well, and I think Mugen might. Like, he might. There's probably a bounty out there for him. Because
Probably.
that's just who his character is, right? Jean, I would be surprised, because he's very much more honorable. And there's even moments in the show where I get the impression that it's kind of like the Wild West, but with swords, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you have your gun and you pull the gun out of the holster, somebody can kill you now. Because you've pulled it out with intent. And they even talk about that in the show, where pull out your sword, okay, now it's a duel, and we fight, and if somebody dies, you pulled out your sword. That's what happens, right? You're accepting that.
But they're taking out, what do you talk? They're taking out royalty.
Yeah.
I'm trying to draw a blank on the terms now. Anyway, but like I said, they're taking out the royalty, the heads of state, the people of authority.
Yeah.
And they're just eliminating them. Yeah, they're bad people, and they're all this, but these people got into power somehow, which means there's people that are backing them.
Yes.
So there would obviously be...
Well, and maybe that's why... because there is the guy that comes after Jin.
Yes.
Right? That is the assassin that's like after him. And then the dude that's going to pay him gets killed, so he backs off.
But that was based off of... oh no, that was early on. That assassin was right away, and that was because of... that was like their second or third...
It was later than that, I thought.
Was it?
And then he ends up walking away, right? And he tells him, like, I'll see you again. Which I don't think he ever did.
No, but that was the bamboo fight.
Yeah.
Jin, yeah.
He was the old dude. He didn't think he could do anything, and he really
that was
this
very
awesome
early in the
assassin.
series.
All right, maybe it was. I don't think it was like episode 2 though.
No, not episode 2, but like the second arc, the second area that they made it to.
Yes, yeah.
It was shortly after they'd come together. They're one of the first. We need to find food things.
Yes. It's super, super good. I can't emphasize it enough, really, to go check it out. Watch it. If you haven't watched it, shame on you. Especially if you're a fan of anime. Go watch. It's a classic. It totally is.
Yeah, and as soon as you finish that, go watch Sword Guy.
Yeah, right. Because season 2's out now, so get caught up.
And just so you know, we rated that a 2.
Did we? Okay.
I have no idea.
We might need to re-review that then.
Yeah.
It might be too high.
I know. I think we need to hold off, do that until we see season 2.
You're right. Maybe it all comes together, and it's just going to be the best anime ever. Right.
Uh-huh.
Do we want to put a score on Samurai Champloo?
Ooh. Boy, I don't know.
What do you think, Jay?
We didn't score Bebop.
Did we not score it?
No, that was just in like, this is so good that we don't want to insult it by scoring it.
So do we need to add something to the list that's just like, is it just a question mark score of untouchable?
Because it's not a unicorn. Because anything could be improved.
Yeah. Yeah. No. If you find a unicorn anything, that means you're willing to never look at it.
So we need the pseudocorn.
The pseudocorn.
Yes, the pseudocorn score.
Well, that would be like that's like a 9.5 then, or a 9.9.
9.9.
Is that it? It's
okay.
a 9.9.
9.9.
Do we give it a 9.9?
I think we should.
I would totally give this a 9.9. I think Bebop deserves a 9.9. I think this deserves a 9.9.
Absolutely.
I don't know what we. To be fair though, I don't know that I would give Dragon Ball a 9.9. It's amazing. I love it for what it did, but overall,
I think
not.
I think Dragon. I don't think there has been an anime that has had more impact. The
like,
world
on the
over,
industry,
on the industry and on the world, for anime, than Dragon Ball. The whole series. I mean, GT and Super included.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I would give it the 9.9 as far as the show itself, right? If we're talking about Dragon Ball anything, I don't think I would do that. But its influence on everything, totally agree with you. That, I think, gets the 9.9. Where it sits now, it's probably the unicorn, right? Like, I don't want to give it that, but, I mean, it is also the pseudo-unicorn, I think, as far as influence and what it did for the industry and how it's still affecting things today. Like, look at My Hero, right? Like, there's so many things taken from that I don't think it'd be the same without it, if it didn't have that to kind of follow. But as a show, as a whole, and maybe it's because there's, like, if you watch all of it, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of episodes, right? And there's a lot of crap in there that I think...
There's a lot of Bulma episodes, yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are relevant to the whole overarching thing, but you got to sit through it, right? There was never a point in Bebop, really, or Champloo, where I ever hit that point of, like, okay, skip this episode or whatever, right? It's more of a package deal that's just awesome. And Dragon Ball isn't as much that, for me anyway.
But like, what is Bebop, 2 seasons total? Like
yeah, it's very similar to Champloo. Yeah, it's something like that, because Champloo, I think, is 26, so it's right about that same kind of length.
Yeah, and it's it's a full story.
Yeah,
you're following a full arc. You're following it, and it has a conclusion. It's not.
It is one of the best endings ever.
What? Bebop.
Yeah, Bebop.
Yes,
Bebop.
I
does. Love the ending.
So did
of
I.
Bebop. It's so good.
Champloo's okay.
It's very open ended.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't have that. Maybe that would be one thing I would strike against it, is that it could have ended stronger for sure.
But I mean, he started out with his magnum opus there with Bebop.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
no. I think I can't remember now which one came out first. When did Bebop come out? Was that like 2009?
No, it wasn't.
Was that before
late.
that?
It was before.
Was it 99? Now we gotta look it up.
I'm gonna look it up. Jeez, Jack, where are you? Get on it.
Anyway, we give Champloo the 9.9, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
it's just awesome.
It's the pseudocorn.
It totally is pseudocorn. Check it out. Shoot me your pen. I'll write 1 on there. We don't need to write them all. 9.9. So I have a proposal for our next one. While you look up your Bebop date there. I want to, because I've watched like 2 episodes, and it kind of suckered me in. I'd like to see the rest of it. I'm not totally sure how to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Megalo
Megalobox?
Megalobox is what it
Okay.
is. It's on Crunchyroll. At least that's how I was watching it. It deals with it takes place in the future where it's not quite like Gundam-like where we settle disputes that way, but there's this sport that's megaloboxing. And-
Final episode aired in 99.
Okay, so it's definitely before. I wanted to say it was a 9. I didn't know it was 2009 or 99.
Yep.
Which makes sense because it does feel more raw. A bit
Yes.
older. But Megalobox is basically boxers. It's a sports anime, right? But very sci-fi. They have augmented like packs they kind of wear on their back that coat their arms like an exoskin kind of thing, and they box it out. It's about this guy that starts out from the slums. I think it was originally another show, and this is like the revamped version of it.
Oh, okay.
So
It's kind of funny you're talking about that, though. There's a guy on YouTube and it might be what this is based off of, that totally made a power fist
really,
that's pneumatic powered
Yeah.
and micro switch triggered. So when he hits something, the impact, and he's got it all set through like a Arduino and everything, so it's perfectly timed
Yeah.
to his punch. And I think it checks the accelerometers and stuff in it, so it knows that he's making the motion and everything. And he's actually like punched through freaking brick walls. It like took like 3 or 4 hits, but like,
huh?
yeah, it was.
It is very kind of like they do like budget comes into play. I've only seen a couple episodes, but like the guy that's the star of it is like basically I think in the ring he's like the stray dog or whatever, right? Because nobody owns him. He lives off the streets pretty much, right?
Okay.
He's this slum fighter.
Yeah.
And he's got the total ghetto gear, right? It looks like it's like his grandpa's boxing gear, right? And everybody he fights has like this sleek. It's all form fitted to their arms. His has got like big pistons and pneumatic things on it. It's like not the same at all. It's a low budget suit, right? But I don't know. It kind of hooked me a little bit. I'd like to check out the rest of it.
Nice.
And I think I want to say 8 to 12 episodes, something like that. So it's not super long. We'll check it out.
All right. I mean, 8 episodes, that's easy enough to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. And we got to watch it in Japanese because that's what Crunchyroll is.
Yes.
So watch that. Check out Megalobox, Megalo. The other little quick note I did want to just mention is that I got, I know we're running long, I got the new 52 Batmans.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to have to let you borrow them. They're so good.
Really?
It's Scott
makes
Snyder and Greg Capullo are the people that do it. Capullo did Spawn for a while. Snyder did the Batman medals, which I was not a super big fan of. There was key issues in that medal that are just phenomenal, but most part I was kind of let down by it, and so I've kind of steered clear of Scott Snyder, but I've had so many people tell me that he's amazing, right? And so Gary, who did reviews for the comic panel, he was telling me, he's like, you really need to check this out. It's really, really good. So I picked up the box sets of the trades.
Yeah.
And I think it's the 5th issue. Batman is been captured by the Court of Owls, right? And he's in this maze. He's been there for days. He's like dehydrated, doesn't have his belt or his boots even. Like half of his cowl's all torn up, and he starts to go insane in the issue. And my favorite part of that issue is as he spirals into madness, you literally have to read the book, and like every time you turn the page, do a quarter turn to read it. Like there's some where you read it lengthwise, you read it upside down, you turn. It's so cool. And there's just this like level of dedication, and I'm only up to like issue 12 or something now.
Okay.
But so far that level of dedication has been there. That's like that, and the art's really good. So I might have to let you borrow. I might have to talk about it a little bit. It's really good. I'm pretty impressed with it. And then after the new 52s, is right where the Tom King picks up, which is what the ones that you've borrowed from me, and we've kind of been reading a little bit of. So it should just directly jump into that. So I'm gonna get the whole Batman thing. I'm just going to get him. Dan gave me a sweet deal at the comic shop. So,
of course he did.
If you're local, go to Docking Bay 93. Dan is awesome there. And I think he just has the general rule, if you buy 3 trades, that you get like 30% off or something.
Okay.
And even though this was like one box with 3 trades in it, he was like, whatever, I'll still just give you the deal for the setup.
Sweet.
I was like, cool, yeah. He might have given me a little bump on the discount because, we bro down, but it was awesome. It's really cool. I'll have to let you borrow it.
It's kind of funny, Docking Bay 93, so it's one of the podcasts that I've been not following the cast, but I've been following their tweets.
Yeah.
Is Talking Bay 94.
Huh.
I thought it was a great play on the name.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
So last but not least, we have some things coming out. I guess some of these are just tomorrow. We have No Man's Sky, No Man's Sky Next, which is their new update. I know a lot of people rag on No Man's Sky. If Jack was here, he wouldn't shut up about how much he's disappointed in that game. But it has a full graphic overhaul.
so I gotta say, No Man's Sky has a lot to do with how you enter the game.
Yes. It totally, yeah, especially in your case.
Entering the game in this giant pit and not being able to get out of it.
Yeah.
Was a bitch.
Well, now it's going to have...
Dude, if you just run up to the wall and hold facing it and power out of it, you just fly right out. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it doesn't tell you. It tells you nothing. It's just like, here you are, your ship's wrecked, find what you need to fix it, and then take off. And it doesn't tell you anything. You just have to figure the game out as you play it, which was one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't spawn into a massive crater, so I could see that impacting your experience. But this new Next update looks really cool. It's going to have the third person option in it. You can customize the look of your character now. The complete graphics overhaul. They're taking off any limitation as far as like what you can do in the world or like per world. You can build bases anywhere now, and just like they're really kind of opening that up. It's going to be very Borderlands, where you can play cooperatively with 4 people at a time.
Oh, nice.
And you don't have to be like in the same part of the galaxy or whatever. You can like warp to where they are and then start your game. And as long as it's the same mode, like as long as one's not like standard and survival or whatever, crossing modes, it'll carry all your progress over in your personal game. So
nice.
It sounds like it could be kind of cool what they're doing with it. And it's going to start coming out like with Monster Hunter, where it's got like its weekly objectives or whatever you're supposed to do, right? And it's supposed to start giving us more new things. They said we're ready to do it. We're really doing it now.
Those weekly bounties are what are keeping me playing Monster Hunter.
So I'm definitely going to check it out. I'm pretty excited for it.
Oh, did John picked up Monster Hunter?
Yeah.
I hopped on with him. He did the first fight, which was the Kestodons.
Yeah.
Died and said, F this game, I'm not playing it ever again.
Really? My brother almost did that the other day. He didn't do that at all, but I got the impression, based on the tone of his voice, that game sucks when you first start to join someone. It's so level blocked, and like you have to watch these boring cutscenes. You can't skip them until you've seen them once. It's like that's the worst part of that game.
That's part of, and there is no tutorial on how to play the game.
Yes.
I mean, there's little pop-up things that say little things, but they're done in a really convoluted manner, and you don't know what they're trying to tell you until you get into that situation.
Yeah.
And like he's here talking about it and stuff. He's like, dude, I don't get it. My sword's just bouncing off. It doesn't make me better. I'm like, well, you're not. He's like, where are you hitting him? You know? Well, I'm hitting him on their head. Well, that's the hardest part of the Keston. Of course it's bouncing off.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? He's like, well, I turned around and I hit it on the backside. It bounced off. Oh, well, that means, what's your sword sharpness? What the hell do you mean sharpness?
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And so he stops to sharpen his sword, and it killed him for the last time. So he carded the last time, and it's like...
Totally pulled a John.
Yeah.
He stopped on the racetrack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then he's like, this game's broken. I'm like, no, it's not broken. You just have to learn to play it.
Yeah, and it's crappy in the beginning.
It really is. It really is. And I'm like, dude, if you get through this, and it doesn't take long before you start picking it up and learning your weapon, and then learning the monsters, because you really have to learn the monsters.
Yeah, like you personally plus your character in the game. Like your character, you literally have to now share it with the guy who archives the information for you. So when you go to the next level, you're smarter and whatever. Like you have to take all those steps.
Yes.
And again, it doesn't really tell you.
No, it doesn't tell you any of this. And that said, based on what I saw with John, I would not have continued this game at all, stuck with it at all, if I didn't have people playing with me right away.
And big kudos to those people, and shout out to those that did that with us, because like playing with my brother who started from the very beginning, that takes so much patience for those other people. It's so much of just waiting in the lobby for them to watch the cutscene, or like I kept having to tell my brother, he's like, oh, I'm kicking all these little monsters' ass and all this. It's so much fun. I was like, yeah, are you fighting the big one though? Because I'm doing nothing waiting for you to get to this cutscene. You're spending all day
you'd be that guy.
doing whatever. Like, just will you please start the cutscene, and then we'll go kill all those guys together, but include me. Because I was trying not to start something in case suddenly
Yeah.
he had the cutscene, right? I wouldn't have to
Exactly.
do all this loading.
And I was waiting for John and running around
Yeah.
talking to him, and I was doing the whole before he's like picking it. Well, I don't have a weapon. I got a knife, and I'm like, okay, we'll have to go to the smithy. No, you got to go equip your equipment. You have to go to the box, go down from not the items, go down to equipment, and then pick your equipment. Well, I don't have it. You trust me. You have a steel and a leather for armor, and then you have a full selection of base model weapons.
Yeah.
Whatever weapon you want to do. I strongly recommend you go to the training area and at least get a feel for how those weapons work.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm like, so when you play fighting games or when you play other games like this, what's your playstyle? What do you do? How do you play it? Are you a button masher? You know, because if he was a button masher, I'd just totally be like, dude, dual blades or glaive.
Yes, for sure.
You know, but I'm like, I chose, and I probably made the wrong decision. I chose the giant katana because it's a giant freaking katana, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. I wanted to look awesome.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm still running around in the Dober mail, or not Dober, but the Odogaron mail.
Because you want to look awesome.
Because, dude, I'm a freaking giant dog samurai with a giant freaking sword.
Yeah.
Long sword. Yeah, dude.
I think my brother might have also had a little more fun if it wasn't me he was playing with, right? Because it's totally this big brother, little brother mentality thing going on, right? Totally. But our other next thing for next week, which we're totally gonna be doing on Tuesday, at least I will be.
Dude, so are we gonna have the build? Oh, we're down. Never mind. I'm one line too far.
We're done with Monster. Oh, okay, yeah. GTA, the nightclub update, which is no longer called that, is After Hours. Comes out on Tuesday, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm gonna
You
blow
still get a
so
nightclub.
much money. Yeah. It still takes place in that, but it's called After Hours, not a nightclub.
Yeah.
And the last one. Do you want to do it? You were already jumping ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Go ahead.
So are we gonna have the build just us sitting here chatting?
I think so. I think Eric is down to join. Whether we do it at the meadery or here or whatever, I'm gonna see if he'll come up here. But he wants to be part of it.
But we should totally do just just put it on, have it be a live stream. We're just
I'm into it.
Drinking beer and BSing.
We can live stream for like 2 hours because I bet that's what it'll take.
Dude, it'll probably take longer than that.
Yeah, maybe we can get him. He's not open on Mondays, so maybe we can do like a Monday live show instead of just posting it.
Hell yeah.
I'm into it. We're talking about the Voltron Lego set.
Yes, the Voltron Lego set.
Because I am a total super nerd and the kid of my family, because I don't have kids. I am a Lego VIP member, so I think at midnight tonight I can actually pre-order it. And I get it, boy, what would that be, like 6 days early. So a week. I think it's a week early, basically what it boils down to.
Nice.
I don't know, 31 or 30 days in this month, in July. 31. Is that right? Then it's a week, if that's the case. That's why I went with that.
Yeah, July is 31, I think.
Yeah, so a week early. I don't get it a week early, but I get to pre-order it. So we'll see how it works. Hopefully I can do 2. We talked about that.
Yes.
I hope it's not limited to 1 per person. But it's huge. It's like over a foot tall, easily.
If we do this combined build thing like that, we're going to have to pick different lions because there's no way they're going to live stream the complete build for all of us.
No. We'll do one set. We'll build one set.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to build both our sets, right?
Yeah.
This is a 4-hour live stream. No, we're just doing the 2-hour.
Okay.
Me, and Eric will pick a tiger each. We'll build them.
A lion.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll build them, and then we'll have to maybe we'll cut away real quick and come back and assemble it or whatever. We'll play with the toys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But I think we've talked enough. Let's review our beers.
All right.
And then let's go eat some pork.
Yes.
Because that's what happens after this episode. I'm stoked. And more beer, of course.
Yes.
I really, really enjoyed this beer.
Me
and
too.
I am the guy that would typically not really go for a pale.
Yeah.
It's definitely not my go-to beer. I love that this has the body that it has, while still not, I don't feel like I've drank a whole ton of beer. Like, it is a little bit lighter once it's inside me.
Yeah.
And,
you love your layman descriptions.
Yeah.
They work. That's what I like about them.
I was telling Chris, the Allspice guy, that I was like, I always have the lamest descriptions, but it makes me feel a little better when he's like, yeah, you're right, but that's not right, but you are right. But I'm a huge fan of the roastiness, and it didn't get weird and skunky or taste
it didn't.
by the end.
This is a very smooth beer all the way through.
Yeah. I was
was
afraid of
really
that,
good.
actually. I was thinking this might be really kind of smoky and gnarly by the end, but it's not. It's good.
That's been a consistency of Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
their beers are out there. Their beers are different, but they're never. They're not my go-to beer every time, because their beers are usually out there and they're usually a little different, and but their beers are always consistent and they're always what they say they are. I mean, when Rogue writes up something on the back of their can or bottle or whatever about this is what their beer is, it's consistent. It's what it is.
Totally. We've said it before, right? We had that month of Rogue or whatever where we just drank them. That was one of the biggest takeaways I took from that month, was that Rogue, they so care about the quality of the product.
And when we talked to the guy about that. We wanted to get him on, but he wasn't able to make it.
Yeah.
But when we talked to him about it, though, that's one thing he was saying. He says, each one of their breweries, the head brewer has open reign to just come up with stuff.
Yeah.
And if it's good, they'll actually commission it and run that recipe as a run. Yeah. Yeah. So
once again, Rogue, kudos.
Definitely.
I think for me, I really think I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think it's really.
Are you gonna give it an 8?
I think, if that seems high at all, I think I'm gonna give it that. I was fluctuating between a 7 and an 8.
All right.
But I'm gonna give it the 8, especially because I'm not a huge fan of a pale. But I would totally drink this beer again.
Oh yeah.
I have zero complaints about it at all. I would have been so pleasantly surprised had somebody. I mean, I was clearly on the show, but if I would have went to have this as a pale and drank it, it blew my mind.
Yeah, if somebody walked into your party and ripped it off the 6-pack for you and said, "Here, have a beer."
Yeah, I'd look at it and go,
I would drink it. You'd take it because somebody handed you a beer.
Yeah, but I would be so, just like on the show, I would be so pleasantly surprised.
Exactly.
This seriously just kind of blew my mind on this being a pale.
Yeah, no, really, it is.
Which I think us in particular, that's great for. But again, I think I could see somebody getting this as a pale and being very disappointed. Don't you think?
If they're, it depends what they're looking for. I mean, if your basis for a pale is the Sierra Nevada pale, I think this falls right in line with that.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. It's still a microbrew pale, right?
Well, Diamond Knot's pale is very light and pale in comparison to either one of those two.
Yeah.
Their pale is actually really close to a golden ale.
Mm.
But oh boy,
what are you gonna give it, Jay? Put a number on this thing so that
I was 7.5 originally. No, I'm gonna say 7.5.
Okay, we're kind of in that same range.
Yeah,
That's where I wanted to be, and then I was like, for me personally, I'm very pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna give it to it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, is it gonna take me up to the?
I almost talked you into it. Not
you
quite.
Almost did, but I'm sticking 7.5. It's a really good beer.
It is really good.
I definitely am. I am going to buy this again.
Yes, for sure. You could do a GTA Tuesday beer with it. You just have to drink the whole 6-pack.
Yes. Yes, to be a traditional GTA Tuesday, that would be the case. Or just have the scotch sitting next to you, and once that's out, you just...
Yeah. Well, to all the nerds...
Through all the fuzz.
Bottoms up.
Let's get Nerdbuzzed. That was a marathon, man.
Thanks for watching.
Yes.
Talking about
Like, share,
beer.
subscribe, tell your friends.
Talking
beer
about
and do nerdy
nerd
stuff.
culture. You're on
gonna go.
Nerdbuzzed. Marcus and Jeremiah. You're on Nerdbuzzed. Let's get Nerdbuzzed.